Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, good afternoon and welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. Of course, on this channel, over the past few weeks, months, we've been talking a lot about Leicester City and Ipswich Town. Now, of course, if we don't go back to the Premier League, it's probably the last we'll talk about them for a long time, because they might come down and we go up the following season, do you know what I mean? But while we're still, like, in the same season, we're going to have to talk about them. And, of course, you know, one of my best friends on the scene is, of course, Lachlan. Lox is a massive Leicester City fan, and I will use any opportunity whatsoever to wind that guy up, much like you Leeds fans will, because he only does it to us in return, right? Now, the title says, like, is it over? And what I mean by this is, obviously, we spoke to Benjamin Bloom yesterday. He didn't even want to touch on the topic. He was like, listen, I don't even want to think about it, because Kieran McKenna is getting linked to a lot of jobs, right? And then today, Enzo Maresca has also been linked to Chelsea. I think it's wild, for me personally, just on the Chelsea stuff, I think it's wild that they sacked Pochettino, personally. Especially when I sample a lot of content, they're talking about Hansi Flick. They're talking about the return of Tommy Tuchel. Chelsea don't want that. They want a young up-and-coming manager. I mean, who are these young up-and-coming managers? They tried it with Graham Potter. And now they're linked to two theoretically championship managers in Kieran McKenna. Thomas Frank's in there as well. And now Enzo Maresca, which I find a bit wild. It's a massive step. If I'm honest, I sort of get Kieran McKenna, because Kieran McKenna, I'm not a massive fan of Enzo, and I don't get it. I don't get the hype. I do not get the hype. And look, it has legs. You know, we're going to hear from Lox in a second. He's just waiting. He's just waiting in the chat. I'm just going to show Fabrizio Romano's tweet, because Romano's tweeted out about Enzo Maresca in the past, hour or so. Let me just check. 35 minutes, so within the last half hour. This is what he had to say just on Enzo. So Enzo Maresca has a release clause, which isn't going to bother Chelsea, let's be honest. They pay over the odds for every man and the dog and everything in between. The new release clause into Enzo Maresca's contract after Leicester City got promoted is around 7 to 8 million. Now, there's no smoke without fire, otherwise he wouldn't be speaking about this release clause. I think there's this. I personally put it down to the fact that he's worked under Pep. This is the total mindset of Chelsea. Listen, it's a great move for Leicester. It worked out, but do we think he's ready for Chelsea? A team that's want to be challenging at the top four. That's why Poch has been sacked, right? It almost feels like if you've worked with Pep, that's it. We need you, because we've seen the success Arteta has had at Arsenal. Or for some Arsenal fans, maybe not success, but for me, I think it's been a success. And now Enzo has been linked to Chelsea. I actually get Kieran McKenna, that's the mad thing, because I think he's a great coach and going places. He's worked at Spurs, he worked at Manchester United, he's gone to Ipswich, back-to-back promotions, then another move. The thing is with Kieran McKenna as well, yeah, Charlie, he may have signed a new deal. It means nothing. It means nothing, just like Enzo's doesn't. It'll have release clauses in there, because the facts are, and even Benjamin Bloom, we spoke off air, and he says you just can't turn down Chelsea. No one can, really. Because you're going to be working with the best players, you're going to get massive amounts of money, and if it don't go well, you're going to get a massive payoff. That's the facts. You're going to get a 4-year contract. You might be sacked in 6 months. Nice garden and leave payment, set you up for the rest of your life, then restart again. Do you know what I mean? It's that much of a basket case at Chelsea. It probably won't be a bad thing on your CV. Yeah, everybody gets sacked at Chelsea. Don't worry about it, Kieran. Don't worry about it, Enzo. We'll give you another job. You did well in the Championship. And the facts are with Kieran, even if Enzo is the man that Chelsea opt for, Brighton want Kieran McKenna, because De Zerbi's out of a job. De Zerbi's left, and they're without a manager. Kieran McKenna's got Brighton all over him, for me personally. I'm getting a Farker haircut this afternoon. Do it. I'm looking forward. Anyway, that's enough from me. Let's see what Lox has got to say on the matter. Here we go. Come on, Lox. Give me your tears. Is it over before it's even began? Points deduction and the best manager you've ever had leaving for Chelsea already.
Tears of joy. Tears of joy. That's what I'm saying, man. I've got Leeds fans in my DMs, as well, saying, ha. I'm like, hold on a second. 6 weeks ago, you were saying he was the worst manager in the world. So why is it ha to Leicester? Surely it's good for Leicester if Enzo Maresca is so bloody bad. Enzo Maresca is not going to Chelsea Football Club.
What makes you so confident?
Because he's not an idiot, mate. Why on earth would you go to, mate?
Have you got a points deduction this season?
We will get one, yeah.
Yeah. So which club are you better off starting with? Chelsea or Leicester?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that anyone with a bit of... right, the way I look at it, mate, is, and I can only say it from a fan's point of view, right? And even, I'll even take myself away from Enzo and Leicester for a second, and I'll put myself in the shoes of Kieran McKenna, right? If I'm Kieran McKenna, you look at the job and you go, I am so much better in the long run, sticking with Ipswich, seeing what I can achieve next season, because the achievement of all achievements for Ipswich next season will just be staying in the division.
Yeah.
And I'm better off doing that for the short term, and then looking, not looking elsewhere, but kind of trying to basically develop more as a young manager, because I just think it's too soon. You look at Graham Potter. Look what happened to Graham Potter. He had a really good time at Brighton. He jumped ship. To Chelsea too early in my eyes, and now look at him. He still hasn't got a job. Not because of lack of interest. There are clubs that would be interested in Potter, but how long did he last at Chelsea? Was it 8 months? Was it less? 6 months? Eight months? I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently what happened with Potter at Chelsea, mate, was because you've got these superstars. And when I say superstars, I know they're not kind of proven and all of this, but they are the superstars of football. That's just how football is these days. The unproven 19-year-olds, with blonde highlights and whatever and tattoos all over them. They are the superstars of football nowadays.
Who are we on about here? Are you having a go at Mudryk? Why are you having a go at
anyone? Just the stereotypical footballers now, mate. They're the superstars, even though they haven't achieved everything. And apparently with Potter, they didn't get on board with Potter because he's not a big name. Enzo Maresca ain't a fucking big name. Neither is Kieran McKenna. Yeah. I just think it's sort of wrong. I think it would be awful for either of them to go there now.
Yeah.
If they have a bad start to the season, they're probably sacked by Christmas.
100%.
I just think it's stupid. I just saw a tweet from I think it's a Chelsea fan. Somebody said, they said, Gallagher will be gone within weeks. Chalobah too. If I was Cole Palmer and I'm playing under the likes of an Ipswich or Leicester manager, I'd consider my options also. This move tonight sets us back another year at least.
It's wild, bro.
I think it does. I really do. Look, De Zerbi.
Yeah, this is a damning indictment of the owners at Chelsea, really, because me and you both agree. As much as we're having a laugh here, right, and I think it's funny, and I would find it funny if your manager went there, because again, I think you would agree he's not at that level yet, Locks, man. And why would you sack Poch to then bring in either McKenna or Enzo? It's mad. For me, it is mad.
Well, I'll say something that sounds a bit wild. Here's one for you, mate, because here's a bad take that you'll call it, which you'll come back to me for in however long. I think Enzo Maresca is the man in waiting for Pep Guardiola's replacement at Man City.
Stop this. I mean,
for the future. In the future.
Look, if he goes on to be because look, you can't say he's not a success because you won the fucking league. And if he stays at Leicester and is a success, then yeah, I sort of get it. I hear what you're saying. I do. But I'm not too sure. But listen, we've only had one season on. Go on.
No, bro, guys in the chat, don't come for me, because literally, right, you're mutants. No, I'm joking. Now listen, right. I'm not saying he's going to be Man City manager next season or the season after. I'm saying in the future, long term, right. But I don't think going to Chelsea helps him in any way. I see what somebody's in the chat about. Enzo could be sacked by Christmas for Leicester as well. Yeah, it's a fair point, but I just feel it will be very.
Do you not think if they, like Ryan says here, if they say, there you go, Leicester, there's the release clause, hit 8-10 million, whatever's been reported. If they hit that, you know that Enzo will go to chat to them. You know that, right? Or do you not think he will?
He turned down Sevilla, mate, and I know it's a different ball game, but he used to.
And when was this? Sure... When did he turn down Sevilla?
This was like 3 weeks ago? Like, well, okay. No, 2 weeks ago. At the end of the season, Sevilla wanted to chat to him. There was another team. He played 96 times. I just double checked. He played 96. He had history with Sevilla, right? Their fans really liked him as a player. I just think he's going to wait it out. I think, in all of the little snippets I've seen so far of Enzo over the last couple of weeks, little quotes and stuff, he seems like he's committed, and and I know that means nothing in football, but he seems committed. He seems like he's going to give next season a real go. Don't get me wrong, mate. If he has a sit down with the Leicester board and they say you're not signing any players or you're signing minimal players this summer, then I think, obviously his head will be like fucking spinning. You know what I mean? He'll be like, even if there was no job lined up, he'd probably leave. I called it a few weeks ago. I said if he ain't going to get back in with a 10-point deduction incoming, he may as well walk, mate. So, by the way, how am I being condescending? Who have I been condescending to? Somebody said I was condescending in the chat.
No, you haven't. Don't worry
what
about
have I said
that,
that's
mate.
Condescending? But I just don't think it's the right move for either McKenna or Enzo, just because if things don't go well, if things don't start well, which is let's be honest, mate, it's likely, right, that a manager... It's very unlikely a manager goes in there and starts a season winning games after game after, has a positive start to the season with all they were starting to stabilize under Poch in the last few weeks, and then bam, he's gone, right? It only unstabilizes them even more. I think it's very unlikely that a manager goes in there and starts on, right away really well. So I just think with their history under Abramovich and Ted Bowley, how easy they are how quickly they are to sack managers. Graham Potter at the time, one of the most exciting managers on the scene, and they got rid of him so soon. You just can't do this in football. I mean, I like you, I sample a lot of content, and it's not just Leeds. I sample, believe it or not.
Don't lie.
I see Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans, discussing things and saying, Arsenal are challenging for the league now because they stuck with Arteta, through some dodgy times. They stuck with him, and look at them now. I think a manager would be stupid. A manager of Enzo and Kieran McKenna's stature, the low stature at the moment, I think it'd be stupid for them to go already. I 100%. Agree. Brighton, 100% seems like a great fit move for either of them.
Yeah, but I agree. Sorry, I don't know why it's showing the follow on there. I'll just follow him to get it out of the way. No, it's still staying there. But basically what it says, Ipswich Town expect an offer. Oh, it's gone now. Expect an offer from Kieran Maguire for Brighton in the next 24 hours. The Tractor Boys have offered him a new, improved $5 million a year contract to try and convince him to stay. His current deal is worth $1.2 million a year. I remember speaking to Ben last night, and he mentioned how they'd offered him more than what any player's going to earn and all this sort of stuff, which you understand they want to keep him. It'll be interesting to see how Brighton go about it. No disrespect to either Ipswich or Leicester. You're looking at two settled Premier League clubs that are coming in for you already after one season in the Championship. Do you think, can I ask you a question? Do you think if Leeds had gone promoted that Farke would have been linked? Because he wouldn't have, would he? He wouldn't. I
was gonna say that to the Leeds fans taking the mickey out of this. This is what happens when you're a Premier League club, lads. You know what I mean?
But the funny thing is, Farke wouldn't have been linked because of his history in the Premier League. Not a chance he'd have been linked.
Yeah, I honestly think it's because these are two young up-and-coming managers, right? And Chelsea are like kids wanting the newest toy out, right? It's what they do with players. It's what they've been doing with players with Mudryk and whoever else, right? And so I think they're doing the same with the manager. It's all well and good thinking, right, we've got a young squad. Let's get in a young manager and let's build for the future. But it don't work like that when you're going to sack them in 6 months anyway. And the Chelsea fans can see through it. They're not... This isn't new anymore. You know what I mean? When you had the owners come in at first, right? The new owners, you're thinking, right, we don't know what they're like. We'll see what happens, right? And they went and sacked Potter. They went and sacked Tuchel. They went and sacked Pochettino, right? They brought in Lampard for a fee. Fucking what the fuck's that about? So they're clearly not very good at what they do.
Pochettino's successor will have to accept the authority of the board and sporting directors with a control that could even stretch into elements of on-pitch coaching. They're fucking mad, aren't they, man? What does that even mean?
And me having experienced Enzo as a manager for the last 9 months, he's not going to accept that. And not many managers are. And you know, I was listening to TalkSport today. Someone was saying it wasn't Bowley, it's the other guy. I can't remember his name.
Darren, will you relax in the chat, bro? Otherwise, you're going to be removed, bro. Relax. I don't know why you're calling people names and stuff.
Yeah.
Stop. Right, go on. Sorry, mate. What were you saying?
I'm just saying, apparently it's not Ted Bowley. Apparently it's the people below him that have the authority to make these footballing decisions. But the problem is, I just don't think they know football very well. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just... Don't. It's crazy, man. I think Enzo Maresca would do well with, a squad of Chelsea's talent? Yes, I do. You know, yes, he had the best squad in the Championship in terms of Leicester, but he didn't have the best players for the roles he wanted them in. This is why I keep seeing, you know, the whole thing all season, mate, between Leicester fans, Leeds fans, Southampton fans, whatever, where it's always been, well, yeah, Leicester have to be where they are because they've got the best squad. Yes, agreed. However, we don't have the best players for the system that we play. And what I mean by that is Wilfred Ndidi has been a bloody attacking midfielder this season. You know, you've got Wout Fass who's coming into midfield, or Hamza Chowdhury is playing Ricardo Pereira's role. Whereas if he goes to Chelsea and he has players more capable of playing his system, I'm sure he could do well. I just don't think he will go. I think he'll give it some more time. I think he'll try and kind of, build his CV up a bit more. And then you never know what's going to come in the future, mate. I mean, I see him as a future Man City manager. People will laugh because he's just about got Leicester over the line in the Championship. But for the future, I do see him in that role. And Kieran McKenna, mate, I mean, Brighton has to be... Again, it's hard because I'm not a manager. I'm not of that level. But if I put myself in McKenna's shoes, I would want the Brighton job over the Chelsea job. I just would. I really would. People will think that might be a bit naive of me to say, but I don't know about you, mate, if you agree. I would rather the Brighton job right now than the Chelsea job.
Listen, I don't like Chelsea, but I just think you can't, as a manager, I just don't think you can turn down what is perceived as a top 6 club, even over a Brighton, unless you are that confident that your skill set will win out anyway. I just think you might not ever get another opportunity at a top club like that. I mean, I say that it's like top club, but you know what I mean. Like they might not be for much longer if they keep getting run about like this. It's insane. I think personally. Like the funny thing is, you look from a fan's perspective, they all want Poch out. I get it. I don't get it, but I get it from their perspective. They watch their football club. But then also the names that they want, having watched a lot of content, you're talking big hitters, and then you find that you're linked to Thomas Frank, Enzo Maresca, Kieran McKenna, and the Stuttgart manager. I don't know much on the Stuttgart manager. It's Sebastian Hoeneß or Hobel. I'm not sure
Something
how
like
to
that.
pronounce.
Something like that.
Yeah, Hoene, and then I think that's either a B or an S in German. I'm not sure, but I just think it's right. Unlucky Dazzy, you're off, bro. There you go. See you in a bit, pal. Yep. Have a nice day. Yeah, so I think it's and it's not great, is it, mate? You would want a big name, wouldn't you? Really, if you're that club.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the way I think that football owners or the people who make decisions at football clubs now actually check fan reaction to stuff, and the reaction from Chelsea fans has been bad. It's been majority of Chelsea fans are thinking what the actual what's going on here, and so you'd think that they would look at that and say, okay, probably not best to bring in an Enzo Maresca. I think even the Chelsea fans, they are more bothered. They're more keen on the idea of McKenna than Enzo Maresca. But yeah, I mean, there's so many managers out there, mate. I mean, even that Ruben Amorim, is it, from Portugal, the one who was linked with Liverpool in the summer? I mean, what you'd think they'd be looking at managers like that over Enzo Maresca and Kieran McKenna.
What do you make to Thomas Frank? I actually like Thomas Frank, by the way.
I didn't think Leeds fans liked him. I thought Leeds fans hated him.
No, listen, we can respect him, though. And I don't think we ever... Look, during the championship running, you become rivals.
Yeah, of course.
Like with you and Enzo, and like with you and Ipswich, we become rivals for that short period. However...
Do we?
After the first year, you just go, do you know what? Thomas Frank and Brentford are a well-run football club, and Thomas Frank's a great manager, in my opinion.
Did you see the clip of him speaking after their last game?
No.
Did you see the video?
No way.
He was like, when they do the little speech at the end of the season, he was on the pitch and he was saying, and when this place rocks, it rocks. And it pans to the crowd, and the crowd was just like...
I love that. Do you know what as well? Like, here's the thing for you. Nicholas Jackson, Cole Palmer, all apparently gutted. Noni Madueke because of their relationship with Poch, right? He's known as having, a great relationship with younger players. He had the same at Spurs. So they're obviously disappointed as well. Do you think what's going on... If you're a top player, let's say, for example, who could potentially move to the Premier League in Osimhen, let's say Chelsea and Arsenal both go for Osimhen, where are you going? Regardless of the money, I know money's a big thing, but if you're seeing what's going on at Chelsea, are you a bit like, well, this manager could be sacked in 6 weeks? The players... See Nicholas Jackson, he even put up a post, Nicholas Jackson, with his hand over his face with a picture of him and Poch.
This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. It's... People see through it now, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you'll have people out there, certain fans who will be like, Rory fucking Jennings, you know what I mean? Knobhead,
It'd be interesting to see what Rory's take is, actually, to be fair.
Have you seen the video of him changing his opinion every minute, like every month?
It is what it is.
But yeah, people see through it now, and I think players, they need to start. I mean, look, let's be honest, mate. Some players are thinking, I don't really care. They're offering me, 300 grand a week. I'm going there no matter what. But some managers have more ambition than that, and they look at a club and they'll think, yeah, you know what? I'm not keen on going there. We could play. I mean, you look at Chelsea now, mate. You have no way of telling. They had a better chance of finishing in the top 4 next season with Poch than they do now from sacking him. I just think the number one argument against sacking Poch was that they had started
to play well, right? Yeah, exactly.
They'd started
since Christmas. They were in the top 4,
That's what I'm saying.
So they were a top 4 club since Christmas in terms of their results. It's mad. Yeah. It's mad. But then here's
as well. I've seen linked. No chance to Chelsea.
Well, the biggest thing, he's actually linked to Bayern Munich, and this for me, Locks, just proves how at the minute the managerial merry-go-round or the managers available are in the bin. The fact that you can fail upwards. Tell me what company he's had. Maybe, but this is even madder. Like, you think you have one good season in Championship, you can now get top UEFA Champions League clubs. Enzo, Kieran going to Chelsea. You've got company on his way to Bayern after a failed season. I don't care about having principles. Burnley wanted to stay up and they were shite. Do you know what I mean? It's failing upwards. It's mad. Or is it also a damning indictment of the managers that are on the market right now? Because it turns out, bro, if you have spoke to Pep on the train or something, or past him at one point in your career, you can get a top job because companies worked under Pep and he's getting linked to Bayern after a shit show for Burnley.
I get the hype though. I do, because you look at
Why?
You look at Mikel Arteta, for example, mate. Come on, he's come from the school of Pep, and
he's done well though, has he not?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's done well. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Arteta.
right, okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So people are, and you had Company who promoted it first time of trying. Again, not a massive achievement with the Burnley squad in the Championship. Same with Leicester, right? Not a massive achievement. I think it's more the style. It's more of this. This is football now. Unfortunately, I'm not a massive fan of it. I prefer the 4-4-2 as well. But you've just got to accept it's over. This is the new era of football that we're in, and we have been for some time. So I just think that is kind of blinding some people. They want to play like Pep. If I don't know if you saw this, it's really embarrassing. It's embarrassing for Leicester. There was an interview. There was a quote that came out like last week from Leicester's owner, and apparently in the interview, like as in the interview process, the recruitment process to get Enzo Maresca in at Leicester, the owner asked him, I want to play like Pep. So, and apparently Enzo Maresca said, well, we can't play like Pep, but we'll play to win, basically. But that's it now, mate. This is how football is. They want to play like Pep because they see Man City winning trebles and 4 titles in a row, and they're like, oh, we want to be that. But Chelsea aren't Man City, and Chelsea will not be Man City anytime soon. They haven't got, their players are overpriced, overhyped, overpaid, right? This is Chelsea's squad right now. Their players, mate. I had an argument with you in Oscar last summer. I said Caicedo's pony, and you were like, no, he's amazing. He's pony, mate. Caicedo is absolute trash. He is.
Here's a question for you, because I know you've got to shoot soon and all that sort of stuff. But I do want to ask you a quick question. If Enzo does go, where do you go next,
bro?
I've seen someone linking in.
Sorry, don't say it. Yeah. Everyone in this chat, if you think I'm fucking crazy, right? I've just seen a Leicester fan tweet. A few Leicester fans say, "Leicester fans, if Enzo goes, would you take De Zerbi?" What do you mean? Would we take? You think De Zerbi's coming to fucking Leicester with a 10-point deduct? Maybe he might have come to Leicester 5 years ago, but he's not coming to Leicester now.
No.
Where do we go? Look, I think if Enzo left, we would be in a bit of bother.
Yeah.
Not because I think Enzo's this amazing manager that's going to keep us up next season, but because the board wouldn't have planned for this, right? The board would not have planned. Even with the dodgy the dodgy part of the season where Enzo's stock, if he did have any, did fall. Even with that, the board were probably thinking he's not going to get poached this summer, especially with the 10 million quid. Lo and behold, Chelsea are now interested. Yeboah put it right there. I was literally just about to say it. Michael Carrick, maybe someone like that. Yeah. Maybe.
It's a good shout.
It's tough.
What about Liam Rosenior?
No.
Why? I think he's a good coach. I'm surprised Chelsea ain't gone for Liam Rosenior, to be honest.
Rosenior, mate.
No, I like him. I like him. Yeah.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he, with that squad not getting the playoffs?
No, I think that's harsh, bro. I think that's harsh. But listen,
with his team of Premier League loans, no chance.
I think it's harsh, bro. I think it's
anyway. Harsh. If I could say a name right now, a definite, I would say Leicester go out and try and if Enzo left, go and try and get Graham Potter.
Yeah, Graham Potter would be a great manager.
I think that's just about achievable. But yeah.
We shall wait and see. It's going to be very fun. Listen, go on.
Maybe we just go through Jesse Marsh, Xavi Gracia, and Sam Allardyce, maybe. And Skubala. Yes.
Skubala!
Yeah, mate.
God, man.
But Enzo Maresca ain't going Chelsea. Just forget about it, because it won't happen. I promise you, I bet you right now, clip me all you want, he will not go to Chelsea.
Yeah, we shall see. Listen, at the end of the day, it's either a damning indictment of Chelsea Football Club, or it's more a damning indictment of them. You know what I mean? It's more a damning indictment of them that they've sacked Pochettino and then turned to an Enzo over Kieran McKenna. But listen, it could end up being a success for them. Who knows? But we shall see.
United, by the way. Poch to Man United.
Yeah, it's a good shout. I don't think it's that bad of a shout. But listen, folks, what I want you to do is smash a like on this video. Go check out Locks, Leicester City Fan TV, and their reaction to this news probably will be spilling out over the next few hours or so. I'll be back at 8 o'clock. There's going to be another stream at 8 o'clock. Me and Jack from Matchday Vlogs, Southampton fan, will be discussing the big game.
Two gingers.
You know, Two gingers together, yeah. Two gingers together who both like WWE. Honestly, man, he sent me some mad poses for the thumbnail, so we went with this, bro. I love that, man. I can't lie. So smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comments in, hit the notification bell. There is a redirect set for that other video, so when this finishes, you will go over it. It's not on till 8, but I just want you to smash a like on it, okay? So do that for me, and I'll see you back here at 8 o'clock. See you in a bit, folks. Have a good one. Peace out.